Hey, you Potter Than Hell junkies. This is Carl Kennedy from the Rods in Kennedy. You're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with the metal encyclopedias themselves. Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan on the keyboards. Crank it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host. And hey, this week, I am joined by
BC
and
BB.
And our keyboard player tonight is
Dylan.
And yes, we are all in the same room, finally together once again. Welcome back. I'm glad we got everybody back here. And actually, guys, this is episode 150. That is fucking crazy. Like, that we have 150 episodes. There's a couple little extra ones here and there, but it's like 150 official episodes, which is crazy. When we started this, you never even think you're going to get to 20 or 100 or, you know what I mean? Like 150. It's pretty cool.
Seems like we're at the kitchen table.
Yeah, we started. And actually, that kitchen doesn't even exist anymore, right? Mm-mm. So BC has that all destroyed, and
we
actually
had to destroy it to get rid of that episode.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I told you before, we should have seen if we could have that registered as a historical landmark.
Sure.
See if we can get it on the National Registry. So
get Mr. Powell to come down and do a little, ceremony for
we can get a plaque. You can get one of them plaques out the front.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those pedestal plaques we could get out the front.
The first Carbonell podcast to reach 150 episodes.
It's gonna be like an island.
Well, because you know what you could even do.
So we can sit at the island.
You could probably get some grants to restore that back to its original thing. So you have to look into that. We'll have to get our grant writer for the city, see if she can help you out with that. Yeah, so what else we got here? Oh, I want to thank Dave Borowski and Mark Hoover from Rock 107 for coming on last week with us to do the Dio episode for the 10th anniversary of Dio's passing, which, it's just hard to believe that was 10 years ago. But it was cool having those guys on. And sorry you had to miss it, BC. BC had like a last-minute emergency that he had to take care of. So
not
BC,
easy raising parents.
It is not. It is not. Parents can be tough. So thanks guys again for coming on. It was a blast. We did the Kiss Make Your Own album out of the first 3 album episode 2 episodes ago, and I said if anybody had contacted us with their own albums, I would read them. So I have a couple. Mark Arnold, his album is called Dangerous Kisses, and the songs he has, and this is the order he has. He has Deuce, Rock Bottom, Come On and Love Me, Cold Gin, Rock and Roll All Night, that'd be side 1. Room Service, Love Her All I Can, She, Let Me Go, Rock and Roll, and 100,000 Years. So, thank you, Mark Arnold, that's cool. And I like
side 2.
Yeah, but you know what? I even like Rock and Roll All Night in the 5 spot, ending side 1. I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And Jeff Goss, he didn't give me a name for the album, but here's his track listing: Deuce, Parasite, Come On and Love Me, Love Her All I Can, Black Diamond ending side 1, which is also cool. And then side 2 we got Strutter, Watching You, Rock Bottom, Cold Gin, Strange Ways ending out the album.
Really?
Which I don't think anybody picked that for an ender on Stars, right?
I think only like one person picked it.
I think Rob probably picked the song, but and actually was it Scott that said that he hated that song? Someone hated that song.
Someone hated the song. Absolutely, yeah.
It might have been Scott. And then Mark Anthony K, our friend, our buddy Mark, his album is called First Kiss. Actually, I'm sorry. Mark Arnold's album was Dangerous Kisses. KISS, like the Kiss logo, and then like small ES. And Mark Anthony K, his is called First Kiss, and his track listing is Room Service, Deuce, Love Her All I Can, Cold Gin, Let Me Go, Rock and Roll, cool in there for side 1. Got to Choose, side 2. Come On and Love Me, Parasite, 100,000 Years, Black Diamond, and he has wrote in parentheses an earlier fade out for Black Diamond. So you mustn't get that all that crazy shit. But very cool though. Thanks, Mark, Anthony K, and Mark Arnold, and thank you, Jeff Goss.
Yes, allow me to do the hat trick for Mark Hoover, who was on last week's episode, gave his list where it's a Blake CD.
Yeah, yeah. He's not a huge Kiss fan, but he
He's more of
He likes the 80s stuff.
Kiss,
Yeah.
yes.
He turns on the night.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll do a list when we get into the 80s albums. So like we said, that's going to be a series. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you want to go in order when next time we do them? Do you want to go in order? Or I could figure out how all the 3 albums go in 3 album bunches, and then we could skip around.
I don't know. Whatever you're thinking.
So, I don't know. We'll have to think about that.
Have we talked really about... Yeah, we've talked about...
I think we hit all the Kiss albums.
I think so. Yeah. Because we definitely hit the last ones. Because I remember talking about I Finally Found My Way.
Brutal.
Horrible
But I think
song.
we have to do the solo albums as one album. Like, it'd be like... Because I know there is a best of the solo albums. And it'll be interesting because you're going to have to pick something Peter Criss. That's going to be one of the rules. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't think it's that hard. There's some decent songs.
Yeah, there is. I guess. All right. So, hey, did you guys check out the video for No, No, No that Chris Jericho put out? It was one of those recordings where they, him and three other dudes, they did No, No, No. Good song from Crazy Nights. I think it literally just came out today.
Oh,
It was cool. It was cool. You get the soloing in the beginning and the drum. It was good. It was produced really good. And Jericho sang it great. He sang it really good. It was cool. So I hope you guys check that out.
I think I saw the picture because it isn't maybe
He's like
the
brushing
guitar
his teeth.
player used to play with Lita Ford.
I don't know. I
think
I
we've
couldn't
seen him
tell.
with
I
Lita
watched it
Ford.
quick, but I didn't get into who the other guys were.
I can't think of that. Mitch Perry.
It's not. It's not that O'Brien guy. It's
I don't think it's Mitch Perry
player?
either.
The guitar player.
I don't think it's
Perry.
Mitch Perry either. I don't know. I don't think so. It didn't look like him.
Or the guy with the blacker hair.
Yeah, that
I
guy.
mean, he's the one that plays with her now. I can't think of his name though.
Oh, okay. We'll have to look him up. All right. So, what are we listening to? Let's get into that a little bit here. BC, since you weren't on last week, what do you got? What are you listening to?
Yeah, right now, bouncing around between some Crew and Last in Line. The only time I'm really checking out that tune so far is mainly driving back and forth to work. I like it now because I have like a half hour ride.
You have an actual commute now.
I have a commute now where I can listen to music. So
All right. Dylan, how about you?
I've been listening to a band that you're all familiar with, the Mars Volta. No, you guys aren't familiar with them at all.
What?
The Mars Volta. They're a
Did
weird
you just
band.
call me a bad name?
They're a weird band.
In German?
They're kind of post-hardcore. They have weird time signatures. One of the main guys from it is Omar Rodriguez Lopez, really good guitarist. It's weird stuff. You wouldn't like it, but
Mars Volta?
the Mars Volta, like a Mars bar, and then Volta, like Volt.
John Travolta.
Yeah. But, it's good stuff. I don't think you guys would like it, but
It doesn't sound like I would.
it's very good.
All right, I'll go next. I've been scoping out some damn Yankees, still on my little bit of Night Ranger kick, BC, and I'm just like, those first 3 albums of Night Ranger just kicking my ass. Love them, absolutely love them. And I'm still rocking that Chakra Mad World album. That album, I'll tell you what, that's going to be in my final for the year for sure. I've been rocking the shit out of that lately. Fucking excellent. And how about you, BB?
Today at work, the last album I listened to was Skunk Works from Bruce Dickinson's solo. But man, oh man, it's amazing. Spot on, fantastic vocals. I almost kind of forgot about this album. And it just, something came up on Facebook, like, oh, Bruce Dickinson solo, blah, blah. So I started, looking at stuff. I'm like, oh my God, Skunk Works. Amazing albums. Amazing songs. Love it, love it, love it. And then I'm kind of looking at his back catalog. There's, some live stuff. I'm like, how did I not know, Bruce did, live stuff? I'm like,
Oh, he's got a couple live albums out.
man, oh,
Yeah.
man. So
what's the one? Live A B? What's that one?
there's
Live from Studio
there's
AB or
a-
something like
yeah.
that.
Like Scream for Me Brazil, he does.
That's
all
the one that has
solo
Adrian Smith and Roy
stuff,
Z on
and
it.
But yeah, it's just a great Bruce Dickinson solo stuff today.
Yeah, I have Skunk Works on CD, and I don't know. I remember not liking that for some reason. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give
It's
that
not
another
as
listen.
heavy. No, it's
more grungy, isn't it?
It's more grungy and a little bit more on the lighter side of
Then
than
Yeah,
say
'cause
Iron Maiden.
I think the next one was Accident of Birth, and that's fucking a ripper with,
Right.
of course, Adrian Smith on it. See, even Bruce was better with Adrian. So I'm going to leave it at that for right now. So that's what we're listening to this week. I got a little Damn Yankees, Night Ranger, and Shakira.
Those hips don't
No, I'm looking at her she's on the porn channel.
Talk about out of point.
Yeah, BC's got some Last in Line. Did you mean the album or the band?
The band.
The band, okay. BB's got a little Bruce Dickinson Skunk Works, and Dylan has Mars Volta.
The Mars Volta.
Mars Volta. John Travolta's cousin. Maybe it's like Bruno Mars and John Travolta put together. All right, news. So really not much. Actually, there is news. There is news. No Kiss cruise.
No.
Postponed till 2021. This news will be a week old by the time you guys listen to this. I'm sure you guys know, but let's talk about for a little bit. I think if I was going on this Kiss cruise this year, I think I would be relieved that it's postponed. And apparently, and like, even if I wasn't thinking of going, but even if I was thinking of going, I'd be kicking myself in the ass for not booking it now, because if you stay booked, you get a free drink package, BC.
Now to say that.
I know. So, and our buddy Zeus from Shout Out Loudcast, he is first time Kiss cruiser. Him and actually somebody's brother Danny is going, and they're staying in the same cabin. I think with all this crap going on, I think I would be kind of relieved that, because I think it would be so restricted.
Yes.
That it would just not be enjoyable. I mean, I would have a good time wherever I go, but I think it would take away from the vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time our Monsters of Rock cruise comes around in next February, hopefully, all this shit will be ironed out and we'll be, more comfortable. So
now, how is this affecting Kiss's final brouhaha? Like, do we know? Have we heard anything about that yet? Or
everything's supposed to.
They haven't said anything. I think my personal feeling is that they're going to be done touring. I think they're going to be done. I think, I think Sonny Pooney. We were kind of going back and forth on this. I think maybe the next time you see them live will be maybe like a Vegas residency or something, where they can set up and do a like 5 shows 1 week, take 2 weeks off, do another 5 shows another 2 weeks, let the fans come to them, meet and greets. They're gone. I would say they're just fucking gone. So I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think, BB?
Yeah, it's tough with this, distancing crap, and this is going to be a long time coming that we got to get through this. And the thing with Kiss, they're going to do the same songs. They're only going to play the hits. They're not going to cater to the real fans that want to hear like Room Service or something like crazy.
They're using this time to practice deep tracks. They're practicing deep tracks over the internet.
That would
What better time to do it?
Yeah, they could do so many amazing things while this downtime is going on, but they're just out to.
Yeah, like
they're not
literally.
They're not going to do much.
I would say that probably Tommy and Eric are probably, I don't know, not allowed to do anything
else
offline.
Sure,
Paul did a couple things which were cool. They were great. They were
right.
freaking great. But then he hasn't done one in a while.
Right.
Gene hasn't done anything. And so I don't know. I mean, but you're right. They could. I mean, there's look at the stuff we just talked about with Chris Jericho. 4 guys in 4 different places doing a song, and the editing was great. So I mean, if guys like this that don't have the machine that Kiss has behind them can do stuff like that, just think of what they could do. You know what I mean? I mean,
and just think of how much we plugged that Kiss Unplugged album. You know what I mean? Do something like that. Like, they don't have to be in the same room. They're all over the world. Like, just extend it. Like, Unplugged 2 Quarantined or something, and just do songs that they didn't do on the Unplugged album.
The Rolling Stones did that.
I'm just saying, a lot of TV shows coming out with reunions, like where they're getting people to, like Community's coming out with one, Parks and Recreation coming out with one.
Yeah.
Like Kiss, they could be.
Parks
doing
and Rec
this
was amazing.
It was
hilarious.
So funny. It was so.
Here
good.
you go.
They got Rob Lowe. They got Paul Rudd to come in. Like,
yeah.
They could do a Kiss reunion and have Vinnie Vincent on there and not have to be in the same fucking stage with him.
Yeah, they
They
don't
can have them all.
Right?
have to
And
do
then
it.
if he starts...
So yeah, 4. You can have
Shredding
7.
and-
You can have 7 of them.
Yeah, if he starts going crazy and shit, they can just turn him to fuck off.
Yeah, put them on mute. Bloop.
They could record it and edit it, and if he does something stupid, they just cut him out.
And cut him out. He could be on the cutting room floor. I mean, there's so much shit that they could be doing. And
If a bunch of celebrities can come together and
Yeah.
record Eat It, then have you seen that video?
No.
Like a bunch of celebrities, like Bryan Cranston's one of them. I mean, Weird Al, of course. They all did kind of like how they did Imagine, but they did Eat It by.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that out. And actually, Winger did a really good one too.
They did Eat It.
Not Eat It, no. But they did with the guys from Winger, and there was a bunch of other guys from Anthrax. Eddie Trunk was on there. There was a bunch of different bands.
Yeah,
and shit.
Richie Coxon.
Richie
yeah.
Cox. But there were fans on there too.
Yes.
There were
Yeah.
people that sent them in singing the chorus or whatever. And
And
they put it on there.
It's the right time to do it because
Yeah, I mean,
you
there's
don't have
so
to deal
much
with them
shit you
in
could do.
person, and like you could just have it be a one and done thing and be like, well, listen, we already did this. We don't have to do it on the tour.
Right.
Like it's a perfect opportunity for them to do something
Yep.
like that.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. Did you guys see Paul Stanley did that one thing where he played with there was a guy, a drummer and a bass player, and they did just like instrumental stuff. It was like maybe like a 5-minute video, and they did like maybe like 4 or 5 songs, just like the rhythm parts, maybe up to like the chorus or something like that. It was cool. It was like they did Hotter Than Hell. They did it. It was cool as shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so much stuff they could do. So, and I'm still, and I know BC the Ryan Spencer Cook stuff from Hair of the Dog. Mm-hmm. Awesome shit he puts out. Did you see he did the one yesterday? It was with at the end of I from Rise, that fooling around, that acoustic thing they do at the end there. He does that and tells the story about it. It was really cool. So definitely check out those. Check out Ryan Spencer Cook doing his Hair of the Dog stuff. Really super nice guy. Aldo Nova's doing stuff, and I'll have to check out Eat It too, Dylan. I'll have to definitely look for that. So, there's a ton of stuff out there. And if you guys out there, if there's something that we haven't talked about or something like that, and you want us to check it out, send us an email at potterthanhellpodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up on the Facebook page, or friend us, message us over Messenger or whatever personally. There's many ways to get a hold of us. So, all right. So now. We were gonna do this as like a whole episode where all of us do an album, but we're gonna break this up into 2 different episodes. And episode 2 to this is going to be a couple weeks down the road. So we wanted to do like live metal albums, and with most live metal albums, they're long albums, so we didn't want to try to do 4 if you're going by albums, 2 like 2-disc albums or whatever. So we're just gonna do 1, and then we're going to do another one, and then a couple weeks down the road we're going to do the other 2. So we're going to do BB's and Dylan's albums this week.
That was BC you pointed to.
Huh? Well, I'm just flailing my arms around here.
No,
I know,
no aim.
but at least I said the right names though.
You
that
did say
side of the room are going first, right
it's
there.
not a visual podcast.
Yeah.
You're good.
The guy with this stupid Raiders hat on, and
Wow.
the guy that's drinking wine from a bottle over here. Which is unusual because Dylan doesn't drink on every episode. Very rarely does he.
I don't always drink, but when I do.
What do I do?
What do I do?
I'm going to make sure I drink, boy.
And it's not
the
the second-
pandemic out there. We're drinking.
A metal disease.
All right, so you know what? We didn't even talk about which one we can talk about first. So, want to go alphabetical order?
We could do alphabetical. We do chronological. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I have an idea. Why don't I go first?
Yeah. Either way, it's BB going first.
Yeah.
The album that he's going to be talking about came up before the album that I am going to be talking about.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, BB.
Go ahead.
I'm confused myself. Then Dylan didn't help me. Okay.
It wasn't that difficult.
All right. When Steve wanted to talk about a live album, it was just one of those, boy, there's so many out there, and you can throw a dart at them. But I wanted to pick an album that just kind of just rocked out. I didn't want like a drum solo at song number 6. I didn't want a 15-minute guitar solo at song 10. I just wanted one album that just, from start to finish, pretty much kicked you in the face, punched you in the throat, and just like knocked your socks off. So I had to pick the live album from Twisted Sister, live at the Hammersmith from 1994. Actually, it was recorded in 1984, but for some odd reason, they didn't release until 1994. And when I started doing a little background history for this, I didn't understand why they didn't jump on the Stay Hungry bandwagon that was going on in 1984. They sold 3 million copies of that album. Why did they wait 10 years to piggyback off this album? That should have been Christmas time. Boom. Here's Twisted Sister jammed down your throat. Christmas 1984. Fantastic live album. Pick this up because Stay Hungry just blew everybody out of the water on the radio. They were all over the place. I don't know where the marketing idea was, because in 1994, pretty much everybody forgot about Twisted Sister, except for the 4 of us in this room. When they're all over the radio with Stay Hungry, why not keep that train rolling? Ooh, we may talk about that song. But anyway, very disappointed of how this was released 10 years later. Why was it in the tank? I just think if they kind of brought this out in 84 and maybe even early 85, hey, Twisted Sister just came out with an amazing album. Here's their live shit. That's why I'm sitting here, drinking beer and talking on a podcast and not in New York City being a record marketing person. But yeah, a fantastic album front to back. This just gives you the idea of how Twisted Sister was in 1984. They had 3 albums out, and what a great balance of song selection on this album. Because you think 84, they're going to do maybe 1 song from Stay Hungry, maybe 2. They do 5. They do 4 from Under the Blade. They do 5 from You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. They do 5 from Stay Hungry. So amazing mixture of great songs that we're going to talk about here. So you open up the CD with What You Don't Know. Fantastic. So you go, but the way they do this, they go, What You Don't Know, the kids are back and Stay Hungry. Boom, boom, boom. One album. They pick a song from each of their 3 beginning albums and just knock your socks off. Like even Stay Hungry is probably about maybe like a 16th or an 8th, a little bit faster than the original recording on that album. And boom, you're in there. Holy shit, these guys are fucking amazing live. And then when it comes to Destroyer, this is where it kind of loses me for a second. Dee starts to talk about different stuff they're recording on this radio show from America. They wanted to get the English people involved in how much noise they make and blah blah blah. But it almost kills this first half of this CD. The momentum killer of Destroyer is just mind blowing. And then then there's a part that he starts talking about right after Stay Hungry, and he starts talking about it. And of course we all know, like all the audience beats are MFS, right? I mean MF SMF, yeah. So we're all sick motherfuckers, and he's going sick motherfucker SMF. So I'm thinking, boom, he's gonna go right in SMF, and he's got the whole crowd going, and that's when he do Destroyer, and you listen, you could hear a fucking pin drop. They're like, what the fuck just happened? But like, yeah, Destroyer for me, that song number 4 was such a momentum killer. But then they go in from the Stay Hungry album, We're Not Gonna Take It. So they go right in there. They said it's a new single. And it's funny to hear this song right in the beginning of the set instead of ending the set. But they do that fantastic. Then they go right into You Can't Stop Rock and Roll from the same title album. Amazing song. A little bit long, a little bit more banter in there. Solos really good. And that's another thing, like I said before. There's not a lot of soloing going into this. Maybe the longest solo, maybe on Stay Hungry for maybe 15, 20 seconds, and that's it. There's no, bantering of guitars, and it's just straight up rock and roll. So after that, they go in from the same album, Like a Knife in the Back, and more D, bantering about this song. This is for all the assholes out there, and he points to somebody, hey, how many assholes you know? And they're like, oh, you know any asshole? I know about fucking 70 assholes. So it gets a little bit of funny D in there in a way. Then he goes Shoot 'Em Down. from Under the Blade. Fantastic song, another great rock song. It's so fast-paced. Crowd's back into it, and then you go from right to Under the Blade from the same title album. Fantastic first CD. Like if they just suck up the emotion, the energy in this first CD. Just fantastic. It really gives you a presence of what's going on in 1984 at the Hammersmith. Fantastic first CD. Then they open up CD number 2 from the Stay Hungry album, Burn in Hell. Love this song. Such a darker sounding song for these guys. Almost like before when we were talking about Stay Hungry. Burning Hell's a little bit quicker than the studio album, which I like in a CD. You're not trying to play the CD, note for note. You're a little bit quicker out there. Love it. Then they go back to the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll album with I Am On Me. I'm not a fan of this song, but I love Dee's vocals in this. I think this is vocally probably the best song on the live CD that he does. And there's a little drum solo in there that they throw in there to, and it's not a long one. It's probably, like I said, probably 20 seconds. Then they go into Stay Hungry album, I Want to Rock, another great rock song. More bantering, a little bit too long, 13 minutes and 5 seconds. Dee kind of gets off on some tangents here and there. Lemmy comes out here and says like 4 words and goes back on stage. Then this is when they come into Sick Motherfucker, the SMF song from Stay Hungry. Fantastic song, gets the crowd back up and going again. And then they close the set, which was kind of surprising from the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll album. We're Gonna Make It. Back in 1984, I never saw them close, so I wasn't really sure what they were going to close with. Not the greatest song. I don't think I would have picked the close because it's all right. They don't have that great of a selection here for only 3 albums that close, but from You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, there probably could have been a couple other songs I would have picked there. But then they go in with 2 bonus tracks they record these 2 songs in 1979. Jailhouse Rock, the famous Elvis song, and
You mean the Motley Crue song?
Oh yeah, that's true too, right?
Say it, Dylan. Say it.
We're performing live right here with you tonight.
There you go.
You got the fucking guy.
And then the famous Aerosmith song, The Train Kept A-Rollin'. Both of them recorded in Port Chester, New York.
That's where we saw Slash, BC.
Right in their backyard.
Yeah.
And this is a typical great collection of live songs. Then you get 2 extra bonus tracks, shit like we like to do here. We'll make up a CD, we'll throw a little extra bonus track. But I would have loved not only piggyback off of Stay Hungry. There's so much bantering between Dee and the crowd, and the 2 bonus tracks. They could have cut this down, made it 1 CD, and released it as 1 CD. But once again, that's why I'm sitting here. I'm not the marketing person in New York City, but I really thought there was a lot of bantering on there. And there was more bantering on here than Paul Stanley would do. Like there was a couple songs like, holy shit, he's been talking for 4 fucking minutes.
Did the band leave the stage?
Like, are they out fucking taking a piss break? Somebody's got to... Like, does Frenchie have to go take a shit? Like, it's just a lot of bantering, and I honestly think they could have cut this out and just made it 1 CD and probably saved the band a lot of money. But overall, listen to this CD. Like, I wished I saw these guys in 1984 because they just captured what they were about. Fuck you. If you don't like this music, get the fuck out. And just a fantastic live album. Jammed down your throat. Fantastic 1984 music shit. Whew. I'm going to drink now.
All right. I'm going to go first.
Take a breath.
I'm going to go first here. I did see Twisted Sister in 1984. Actually saw them twice. I saw them once in Allentown with Rat and Lita Ford. And then I saw them again with Dio. And yes, Dee Snider needs to shut the fuck up. Holy shit. And I wrote down, I actually timed some of the shit on here. I was like, what the fuck? Although I am glad they didn't do the price because they hadn't released that as a single as of then because I hate that's like the worst. What you don't know sure can't hurt you. I love I'm glad that they did have an album out they only had 5 albums, but like from the first 3, and I mean that was their heyday.
Yeah.
And like I don't know why they waited so long to release this album. I don't know, because you're right. They could have put this out, you know, and pushed back. Although Come Out and Play is good. I like Come Out and Play. I think that's a freaking great album. And actually, Love Is for Suckers was supposed to be a Dee Snider solo album, I guess, but they slapped the Twisted Sister name on it, and it tanked. Yeah, What You Don't Know Sure Can't Hurt You is cool. I like the intro. You know, good evening, welcome to. I mean, just like
Right.
excellent. I great song, and I like the rawness of this album. I think it's really got that raw sound, and you're right. Like a lot of the songs are stepped up just a little bit tempo wise, and like the first 3 songs, boom, you're just knocked to the ground and dragged around. You know, in between the first 2 songs, all you get is Good Evening London, and then you know who we are, Twisted fucking Sister. And actually, it was funny too, because when I saw them in Philadelphia opening up for Dio, like someone came out and they told him he had to stop swearing because he was like throwing the F-bomb like so much. It was crazy. And even back then, well, I mean, you know, it was same year, but even as an opening band, he just like was like, he wouldn't just shut the fuck up. He spent maybe an eighth of the show just talking, which drives me crazy. I hate that shit. Stay Hungry, like you said, stepped up. You know, one great 1, 2, 3 punch, and like 2.5 minutes, more than 2.5 minutes he spends talking at the end of Stay Hungry, chanting "I'm a sick motherfucker." Like, and you're right, Destroyer, heavy as hell, but it's like throwing a ballad in there.
Yeah.
It just knocks the momentum down that you have going in the show. They come back with "We're Not Gonna Take It," which is a really cool song. No, I'm sorry, "We're Not Gonna Take It" was next, which was their new single at the time. And "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll," absolutely love that fucking song. That song is excellent. And if you go back and look at, they had a video out for that song, and you could tell, you know, like I'm sure everyone out there has seen "We're Not Gonna Take It" and "I Want to Rock" videos that are kind of like you know, together with all the same characters and the slapstick stuff, like it was supposed to be more like Roadrunner and Coyote kind of shit. But if you watch the "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll" video, they have that sense of humor too, because it's like I think the guys that are following around are the Taste Police maybe, and they have all these meters and shit in the van, and they're surveilling them and stuff like that. I mean, and they showed their sense of humor early on, and that song is just a freaking ripper. The solos are great, and then he talks for fucking 3 minutes after this song. I'm like, God, like, shut up. And then they get into like "A Knife in the Back," which is a freaking kick-ass song. "Shoot 'Em Down," good rocker. And actually, that's a song. There's the Twisted Sister tribute album out there that Lemmy actually sings that song on the tribute album. "Under the Blade," fantastic. When that song kicks in, it is just excellent. The solos are ripping in it. And BB, we do get a drum solo, by the way, in this album here during "Burnin' Hell." It's short and sweet.
They do have it written down. Short and
but
sweet.
It's still a drum solo. But I would rather hear the drum solo than hear Dee talking for another 2 minutes. I'll take the 2 minutes of the drum
What
solo.
if he talked over the drum solo?
Oh,
This is our drummer.
Wouldn't have been surprised.
I think he was like had like the halls or a little Ricola there during the drum solo to refresh his voice. And then I Am On Me. I hate that song. I fucking hate that song. I'm gonna jump off a bridge when I hear that song. And then he talks for another 2 minutes after that song. I'm like, God, shut up. Actually, people are out there probably saying to me, "Shut up, Steve." "I Want to Rock." I like it. I like the verses. But a crowd participation song. It's like fucking 8 minutes long. And then like that's the end of the set. But like it's not mixed well. There's like a minute of just the crowd, and then there's 4 minutes of him talking again at the end of that. I'm like, God, like, and then SMF comes on. The song is literally 2 minutes and 27 seconds, but it's like a 7.5 minute song with the talking at the end.
Yeah.
And at least Lemmy comes out at the end.
Yeah.
So that's at least, you know, something that is, you know, not bad. And we're going to make it. I agree with you, BB. I think they could have closed with a better song than that. Like a more. It's rockin'.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a song better served in the first start of the thing. But they were more well known in England at the time than they were in the United States. So they may have been going off of that vibe, playing the stuff from "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll" and Under the Blade. Yeah, I mean, because they were actually signed first in England, I think, before they were in the United States. So I could see why they did that, because I think that the crowd that they had over there were really familiar with the older stuff than you would get over here in the United States. And Jailhouse Rock's not a bad version. No, the solos are good in it. And Train Kept Rolling. I love that song to begin with. It's a good version. It's got a guitar solo in it. I could kind of live without.
Cut that out, yeah.
But I like it, though. I think they do that song justice. I enjoy it. But just like my main thing that I get from this album is D. Snyder, shut the fuck up. That's what it should be called. STFU. But I like it, though. What do you got, BC?
When you picked this album,
Why do you do that?
He thinks he's a jig break.
Fucking like Chewbacca?
It's his entrance music.
He's a jig break.
He's hitting the entrance music.
It's a victim of environment too. We talked about this yesterday.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I don't realize I'm doing it. So when I saw BB pick this, I was like, damn, I forgot about this album. When it first came out and everything. Like you said, great album, great sounding album. Like you said, they come out, what you don't know is a great opener in my book. Then they kick right into The Kids Are Back. I love the guitar. Kids Are Back. Stay Hungry. Another classic Twisted Sister. And like, so far everybody. Destroyer. I love Destroyer. I love the heaviness of it. But like you said, it just, you're doing 90 and then all of a sudden, we're not going to take it. I like it because it's a faster, not really faster pace, but just that little bit compared to the album versions of it. You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Oh, one of my favorite. I love the fast and upbeat. The vocals and the guitar solo in it. Knife in the back. I got headphones now, so like the bass in that, it's fucking.
Yeah. You can hear the bass really good.
Knife in the back. I guess after that song, bass. Shoot 'Em Down. I love that song. Fast and rocking. Under the Blade. Love the guitar to start. Burn in Hell. One of my favorite parts of Stay Hungry. That nice tempo, and then they kick in. The solo and that. Then I think after that they had I brought down mini drum solo. Again, the album is back up. You're having a good pace going. I love the sounding of this whole album. I Am I Me. Yeah, it's kind of upbeat song, but I don't know. It just doesn't fit the vibe of the show, the overall show. I Want to Rock. That's a song you can listen to over and over and you don't get tired of it. And I like it because it's just that little bit sped up.
I love the verses in that song too. The verses are great.
Like you said, this is kind of between here and he started talking a lot, and I'm like, all right, stop doing. Because like you got to, except for Destroyer, you got a good pace going.
I think D kills the momentum of this album and the show a lot. Yeah. I really do.
The second part of it, yes. There was way too much talk and
they had 3 albums out. It's not like they were lacking material to do and needed to take up time.
No, but he was always a guy that wanted to be heard. But then SMF, I love that song. That's we're gonna make it. I love the riff in that, the solos. But like you said, why did they finish with that? If that was more.
I think Steve has a.
If they put that in,
I think you hit it on the head.
If they put that in place of Destroyer, I think it would have been good. Then there was 2 other bonus tunes, Jailhouse Rock. I don't know. Since Motley Crue did it, that song just turns me. I'm turned off to that song.
He wants to go back to Elvis' version.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear that song. Period. And Train Kept Rolling is one of my all-time favorite songs. I don't care. Anybody can do it. I love it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I love the Aerosmith version of it.
Aerosmith version, I mean.
And actually, if you listen to it, the solo on the last part of that is pretty much note for note because actually Dick Wagner played that on the Aerosmith album, and it's really, really close to that version of it. If you no, I don't like I can't do that. But if you listen to it and you're familiar with both songs, it's very close.
But overall, I mean, love that song to death. Anybody can do that song, I would be a fan of it. Overall, love this album. I forgot about it. It's been 26 years since it came out.
Yeah.
Time's flying.
Yeah, 26. Jesus
Great
Christ.
pick,
I was born in 94. I should have just known that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, we know.
Wow.
But,
Okay.
great pick.
Yeah, this album is an interesting time capsule for me. I find it interesting seeing them, for instance, talk about I Want to Rock, where they're like, we're gonna play a new song for you, and like nobody ever does that, you know, like trying to make it seem like it's a big deal. And it's weird not hearing the crowd get super excited for We're Not Gonna Take It or I Want to Rock or Burn in Hell, because they didn't really know it yet because it had just come out.
Right.
So it's really interesting to see the older songs get more of an appreciation than the ones that ultimately became the songs that I think Twisted Sister was most well known for. Dee Snider really does need to shut up. I can understand why his autobiography is called Shut Up and Give Me the Mic now. I completely understand why that's the case. The thing that really pisses me off, though, you know what really pisses me off? At the end of Stay Hungry, you were talking about how he was getting the chant going for Sick Motherfuckers.
Right.
I was expecting them to go into SMF.
Yeah.
Like, that was the perfect
I hate when
opportunity
they do
to just go right. It's like, Sick Motherfucker, Sick. Anyways, here's
And then it could be
Destroyer.
Here's Destroyer.
Here's Destroyer. Like, what? Because I'm like, oh, this is a really good transition into Sick Motherfuckers. It took a really long time to get into it, but it's a really good
Yeah.
Destroyer. What the fuck is this? it really frustrated me because it seemed like he was just talking just to talk.
Yeah.
Like, there was no message behind it. There was like... I had a flashback to the Guitar God show where the bassist for Yngwie was just riffing for time and being like, let's hear for the maestro. Is he coming? No, he's not coming back yet.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight. All right,
Like,
rock and roll.
I got bad flashbacks to it, and it made me not appreciate the album as much as I would have if all this banter wasn't in the album. However, I was very happy to see Burn in Hell on there because I really love that song. It's probably my favorite Twisted Sister song. Of course, they have the drum solo at the end, but it's a short drum solo.
Right.
But then Dee just talks so fucking much on this. And it's interesting, there's going to be some similarities between your album and my album that I think are really interesting. And I'll bring them up when we talk about my album, but I think one of the things that I could say right now is the album, the show set ender isn't really the best that it could have been. There are other songs that could have been better in that position than the ones that were picked.
Right.
I mean, We're Gonna Make It is a good song. It's not a good closing song. Like, I'm sure that if... Like, what do they usually close their show with? Does anybody know? Like, nowadays? Well, not
We're not
nowadays.
gonna
They're
take
not.
Not nowadays. I think it's still SMF.
Which
I
is a
think
better...
SMF is.
That's a better
Yeah,
closer.
they don't close with that anymore.
That's
SMF or I Want to Rock or We're Not Going to Take It.
I
Usually
think it's
one
We're
of
Not
those.
Going to Take It.
Yeah. Which is a good... I mean, and I can understand
Yeah.
why they would close with that. It's their most popular song,
Yeah.
quote-unquote. And it's a really good anthemic closer. It's like their Rock and Roll Night, basically. And that's another song that I can hear a million times and never get sick of. I love the guitar solo in that song. Even when it's done to O Come All Ye Faithful. But this album, the music is good. The Dee banter is not. That's how I'll sum it up.
They played a show in December of 2003. The song to end the set was I Want to Rock. The encores were Tear It Loose, The Price, and You Can't Stop Rock and Roll.
You Can't Stop Rock and Roll's a better
Yeah.
closer for sure. Which is very strange because it's track number 6. Do we know if this was the actual
Yes, it
order
is.
of the set? It was?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. I do like Burn in Hell for opening the second CD, though. That's a fantastic opener for the second side, quote-unquote. But I do find it interesting, like you said, that they chose to hold off on releasing this until 10 years later. Because Stay Hungry was like the album that broke them wide open. So you figured that they would want to cash in on that with the live album. But
Right.
I really don't know why they didn't. That seems like a dropped ball. Even out of the record industry, like you said, we're not part of that, but it seems like you would really want to be like, oh shit, this album's blowing up. Let's put out this live album that we recorded. But it's like, let's sit on it for a bit and wait until
We'll wait 10 years.
they're less relevant and put it out and the 5 people will buy it. I don't know. But it's a decent album. I would just take out all of Dee's banter. Just take that all out and you got a good album.
Yeah, I mean, take all the banter out. They could have put at least 2 more songs in the set.
Yeah.
2.
It's a
I said at least.
Twisted Sister songs. 3. Easily 3.
Oh, I know. Definitely.
It's the Steel Panther situation for sure. But at least with Steel Panther, you're getting jokes. He's just talking just to talk.
Yeah, he talks about the stage, and
I'm surprised he didn't get into politics. The amount of talk he's
but
going.
Yeah, that wasn't a big topic back then, though. That was in '84.
Well, no, I mean like nowadays. Like I'm sure he still loves to talk. Like,
I'm
surprised
sure.
he hasn't become like Kane, the mayor of a town.
I remember BC and I went to see D. Snyder played a solo show down at Tinks in Scranton.
Okay.
And his hair was
now
pink,
levels.
right? His hair was pink, and it was in a ponytail. And after every song, and while the guitar player was playing the guitar solos in every song, he was on the side of the stage spraying his hair with a squirt bottle. I don't know. It had to be water.
Okay.
After every song, and while the guys are playing, he's on the side of the stage spraying his hair. I don't know what the hell that was about. It was
weird.
so weird. It was a good show. It was a real good show.
Yeah, that's right after he did that movie.
Right after Strangeland.
Did he talk a lot in that show, or?
Probably.
No,
I remember.
I don't think it was that bad.
I remember the spraying the hair was the most thing that I remember of that.
Very much
Because we were probably so halfway hammered, we probably didn't give a shit if he was talking or playing.
The things that I hate the most with a live act is like overabundance of solos, like vocal or like the crowd back and forth, like call and response stuff, and singers that talk too much.
I go to concerts to see the band.
Yeah,
sing.
I want to see the band
sing.
play. I want to see them. I want to see them perform. I want to see them actually play the songs that I paid this. I don't want to like Kanye. He goes on a 30-minute rant. Like I want to listen to your songs, man. I don't want to listen to your viewpoints.
I don't want to listen
on
to anything
everything
from that guy.
I mean, I don't like Kanye either, but like if I was a fan of his, I would be super pissed off that I paid to hear him rant for 40 minutes and then leave.
I don't care your opinion.
Yeah. All right, so there's our first album of the night. BB, good pick, my friend, good pick. If, like I said, if you just take the, and actually the best thing you could do is, especially with streaming this, or if you listen to it on a CD, once the song proper ends,
yeah, just skip
to the next fucking song.
That's what I did.
Because the banter's at the end of the song, and the next track actually starts. Like you don't get the banter at the beginning of the track.
You're going through the album, and it comes up and it shows the time.
You're like, wow,
all of a sudden,
8 minutes.
like next thing you know, it's like 13 minutes. I'm going 13 minutes.
But that's the thing.
Like
Like
your Twisted Sister, not Deep Purple.
Maybe like 5 songs in, I was tuned in to the fact that the songs end halfway through. I could just skip to the next song, and I just skipped the banter, and I cut out like half the album.
It's brutal. It's brutal. Listen to that. All right, so there's one. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do our gem song this week, and since we did the Dio episode last week, and hope you guys like the song Warrior from the new Kennedy album, and actually that is out on all streaming things now. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's on Amazon Music, so you guys can stream that now, and you can pre-order the vinyl, which I have already done. Have you? Yes. BC has done as well. And so great album. I'll tell you what, it's really, really good. And so hope you guys enjoyed Warrior. So I'm going to kind of stick with the Dio theme. I'm going to play the version of We Rock from the Metal Allegiance album. This is a freaking fantastic album. If you guys have never heard of it, it's the core of the band is David Ellefson from Megadeth and Mike Portnoy. You know, we talked about him earlier on A Million Bands. And Alex Skolnick from Testament. They're the main guys in the band, but they have tons of guests on there. Let me just go through real quick here.
I think Scott Ian's on a couple tracks.
Gift of Pain. Randy Blythe from Lamb of God is on that one. Gary Holt plays on this. Who else we got here? Mark Menji, Troy Sanders is on here. The girl from Lacuna Coil's on there. The singer from Archangel's on there. Matt Hafey from Trivium's on there. It's just like an all-star of thrash and heavy metal people on there. So they do a version of We Rock. It's the last song on the album, and it's freaking great. Mark Osagata, the singer from Death Angel, sings on this. Chris Jericho sings on it. Tim Ripper Owens. Alyssa White from... Excuse me. I just mentioned her band.
Lacuna Coil?
Oh, no. That's Christina Scandra. Just zip that out. Chuck Billy and Steve Zetro Sousa sings on there. Alex Skolnick, David Ellefson, Mike Portnoy are the main part of the band. But you have solos from Andreas Kisser, Phil DeMille, and Gary Holt on there. Just ripping song. Where do you guys? And there's a video out for it too, and it shows all the different people that are on there. So Dylan, play it away. We Rock from Metal Allegiance.
You watch their faces, you'll see the truth.
right, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed We Rock from Metal Allegiance. Kick-ass version. Fucking absolutely love that song. And we'll get into our hidden gems. And we're going to start with Dylan tonight.
Okay, my hidden gem is a song that has to do with the band that I'm going to be talking about for my main album. It's off of Slash's first solo, well, not his first solo album under just Slash, also self-titled, back in 2010, I believe. Yes, 2010. It's the song Nothing to Say, featuring M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold on vocals. Very cool song. The cool thing about this album is that Slash takes a bunch of different singers and almost molds himself around them, but you can still hear the Slash influence in it. I mean, we've talked about Dr. Alibi with Lemmy from this album a million times, and it sounds like a Lemmy-ish song, but you can still hear that Slash thing. The same thing with Nothing to Say. It sounds like an Avenged Sevenfold type song, but it's got that Slash tone to it that you could still recognize, oh, that's Slash. Very, very, very good song. The whole album is really good, too. There's a lot of good stuff. Andrew Stockdale has a song on there. And funnily enough, Miles Kennedy, who ended up being Slash's main lead singer with the Conspirators, had 2 songs on here. So it's almost like you could, if you looked at this album, you could almost tell who was going to be his go-to guy for singing with the band. But yeah, Nothing to Say by Slash featuring M Shadows.
All right, cool pick. Hey, it's got Slash. How could it go wrong?
Slash.
What do you got, Bannon?
BC will probably know this because every time I throw like a goofy name out, BC's like, oh yeah, I know these guys. This is going to be an album released in 1986. The band is called T.T. Quick.
Yes.
Nice jersey. The album is called Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
You know who sings on that, right?
The guy from Accept.
Yep.
Yep.
Mark Tornello.
Yes. Fantastic album. I think it was maybe like 3 days ago. One of the internet radios I listened to had that song on it, and I'm like, oh my god! And I know the voice. I'm like, oh, T.T. Quick, fantastic from front to back. A great album. But Medal of Honor, fantastic. Front Burner, another one. You know, the first couple songs are great. Hard as Rock, Child of Sin, another great song on that album. But melodic hard rock, gotta love her from 1986. Medal of Honor, T.T. Quick.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What do you got, BC?
Like I said, my wife got me headphones, so you asked me what I'm listening to, and I can only name 1 or 2 things, but I've been listening to, I'm like a kid in a candy store, like 2 of this, 2 of that, jumping over the place. And I've been a fan of these guys since I first discovered them on Facebook. I talked about them probably many times before, I don't care. From 2016, Bigfoot, their EP, Stone Soldiers. It's 5 tracks. Everyone rips their face off. This is such a great band. I don't know what happened. Unfortunately, they've disbanded.
No.
They had 2 EPs and an album out, and they're gaining momentum and doing all kinds of shows over. Not in the United States, of course, because we suck. Yeah. But
We suck.
our shows. And then the vocalist left. They got another guy, which, don't get me wrong, he was good. And then they just announced that there will be no more of that. But you go back to any of their stuff, it's phenomenal.
I like how BC's gem was an EP that we did on an episode. Yeah.
Do we do Stone Soldiers?
Because it had Blame It on the Dog on it, right?
I knew. I thought
That's right.
I used the song. Anyway,
No, it's good.
We did
It's
that
it's
EP.
kick ass though.
I was
It's
listening
kick
to it,
ass.
and I mean,
Yeah.
Because
When you said that, I'm thinking that sounds a little bit familiar. But I mean, you're right. They were but they were broken up. Then they got back to get like they no.
the vocals left, and then they searched for a guy, and they got a guy that
And then they were done.
and then they started playing, and they're doing good. I'm weird when it comes to vocalists. Like when you first get in the band, like this is the guy. The only exception to the rule is Iron Maiden.
Because he prefers Blaze over Bruce. That's why.
The guy? Is this the guy?
Is this the guy?
The
He's
guy?
the guy. He's the guy.
He's the guy.
All right. My gem this week is going to be a book. I like to mix it up every now and then. And actually, I'm listening to it on audiobook, and it's actually new. But I'm going to throw it out there.
I'm listening to an audiobook. Post it.
Post it? No, I did listen to his, but actually both of them. The first one was good. The second one, not so much. It's called Anthem by Martin Popoff. It's Rush in the 1970s. It is freaking excellent. It gets into well, actually, the thing I like about it the most is if you get some biographies about bands, it gives you like each guy and then their childhood best friend and then the time they fell off the swings, and then you get that for each guy, and it's like half the book is just waiting for them to pick up a guitar or drumstick. But this goes through the beginnings, their childhoods like really quick, and then it gets like right into when they started playing music. Fantastic. I'm up to right now where they're just got done recording 2112. And it's fantastic. It goes into a lot of the early tours when they toured with Kiss and Nazareth and Blue Oyster Cult and stuff like that. Very, very interesting. So it's Anthem, Rush in the 1970s by Martin Popoff. So check that out. And Martin Popoff has a ton of rock books. He's got books on Maiden, Rush, Priest, Ted Nugent, AC/DC. He's got a ton of books out there. Iron Maiden, he has... and actually, I think I used one of his Iron Maiden books as a gem another time. He has like Iron Maiden in the 80s, then Iron Maiden in the 90s. I mean, just fantastic. And I like the way that the books are written. They're written conversationally, just like written like we're talking here. Just like, hey, and because he was involved with the guys that did Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage. He was involved with those guys making that movie. So in the beginning of it, he said that he, there's, for as much as that is released in a movie, there's so much other stuff in interview, especially a biographical thing like that. There's so many interviews and stuff left over that, they just don't possibly have the time to get to in a documentary, that he used a lot of that stuff for this book. So you get, a lot of the stuff that you have on the documentary, but like you get like way more like in this book. You get stuff that you didn't hear about in the thing because there just wasn't room for it in a movie, So there's our gems this week. Dylan's got Nothing to Say from Slash with M Shadows singing. BB's got a little TT Quick with Mark Tornello. Medal of Honor. BC's got a little Bigfoot, Stone Soldiers. Excellent. And I got a little Anthem by Martin Popoff, Rush in the 1970s. So now, for our second live album, we're gonna turn the microphone over to Dylan Wright, doing Dylan Wright behind the live keys album.
Shock me. No, not Shock Me. Like I alluded to with my hidden gem, my live album is going to be from Avenged Sevenfold. It's their album that they came out in 2008 with, but then it was re-released this year. The album is live in the LBC. Now, when I say it was re-released, so it originally came out in 2008 as a live DVD, along with like a bonus CD called Diamonds in the Rough, which had a lot of B-sides, like their cover of Flash of the Blade by Iron Maiden, and their cover of Walk by Pantera. But they re-released the audio version, remastered of the live album part of it, along with Diamonds in the Rough. So this was recorded in April of 2008 on the Rockstar Taste of Chaos tour, and this was almost like the Rockstar Energy tour, basically. Right. But they had Avenged Sevenfold on the bill, and they were the headliners. Atreyu, which you guys probably don't know, but they're pretty good. Both for my Valentine, and this was during their Screaming at Fire album. So really good shit.
Those are the early years, right?
Yeah, this was before. That's when
BC was
Fever.
into them.
Right.
The first two albums were amazing.
Yeah, and then Bless the Fall. Very good. This was a tour that I probably would have been, in hindsight, I would have been very interested to see, but back in the day, I wasn't really into this kind of music. But Avenged Sevenfold, it's a band I've talked about before, but they're a band I got into through their one song, Beast and the Harlot, being on Guitar Hero 2. As we all know, we were big Guitar Hero fans back in the day, and I remember playing that song and being so captivated by how weird it was, because it has this apocalyptic intro, and then the chorus is so weirdly upbeat.
Yeah.
But then it's talking about how much of like a slut this girl is. It's like it's so weird, like how the thing is. But I'll talk about that song when I get to it. This was the last release brought out by Avenged Sevenfold before their drummer Jimmy the Rev Sullivan died of an overdose in 2009, and then of course they came out with Nightmare in 2010 with Mike Portnoy on drums. But this live album was basically a homecoming for them because they're basically from Los Angeles. And I'm just going to get into the set list. It starts off with Critical Acclaim, their opener from their self-titled album released in 2007. Starts with an organ intro done by M. Shadows himself, from what I saw on the DVD, because I also watched the DVD as well in preparation for this. Really, really fantastic opening number. It starts off with a hellish scream from M. Shadows, and the band is just going in this heavy riff. I really love the Rev's backing vocals in the song. Really awesome. I think this song was the first song that really showed me how much better M. Shadows was live vocally than recorded, because his voice gets kind of whiny a little bit with the recorded stuff, but live it's not that whiny at all. And the one part towards the end where it goes into a different time change is when it gets whiny on the studio version, but I don't think it does at all. And I think this album was really well mixed. Because you need the bass to be loud enough when Zachy Vengeance and Sinister Gates go into their dual guitar thing, because they don't have a rhythm guitar underneath when they're both doing it. So you need Johnny Christ's bass to be loud enough to be the rhythm section along with the Rev. I think that the band is really gelling on this one. They don't look as excited in the video portion of it, but that's just kind of, they're like too cool for school type deal. M. Shadows is really getting the crowd pumping though. He's all over the stage. The video for the album, especially for this song, it's edited like, you guys ever see the Saw franchise? It's very much like that, with the really quick edits, and you're like, wait, what was that? What am I looking? Oh wait, it's like and it's a different shot every single time.
Oh, okay.
So like, you know, and like the shots were changing as fast as that was going, and it's too hectic. It's very much an early 2000s live album, like you would see with Godsmack, editing wise on the video, and I don't really like that much, because you can't really see the performers that well, because they're cutting so fast that you can't take time to appreciate.
It's tough to watch.
Oh, right.
If you're prone to seizures, not a good one to watch.
Yeah, but thankfully the music is good enough that you could just listen without the album. But I will be referencing the visual album every now and then, because there's some pretty funny stuff that I think on there. The next song is, I believe, Second Heartbeat. Yeah, Second Heartbeat. This was an older song of theirs from Wake of the Fallen. Really, really cool older song, but you can tell it's an older song for them because it doesn't have quite the same, I don't want to say sophistication, but it seems a little more simple in terms of how it changes, but there's still a lot of really cool time changes, and it gets almost pop-punkish at times, and I really like that. And I really love how the soloing gets towards the end. Sinister Gates does a really good job, and he does most of the solos on this album, and Zachy Vengeance does more of the rhythm guitar. But it's a really, really cool second song to go into. Then we go into Afterlife, and god damn it, I fucking love this song. I've talked about this before on the album, but especially the live version, the verses and the riff underneath the verses sound so fucking heavy live. It's amazing, and Zachy and Sinister are so in sync throughout this whole song. I love how crunchy the guitar sounded. It's so full and rich, and the background vocals. So normally, the non-Rev background vocals are done by Zachy Vengeance and Sinister Gates, and I think they blend really well on this song during like the I don't belong, and like their background vocals during that part. And I really like what M. Shadows does with singing the far away from here. And he goes down that note. He doesn't do that on the album, but he does it in this version. I really like it. And I love how blistering the solo is. And then the Rev does this really cool drum count in that like brings it back together, because in the album it's just like a kind of a rise and then it goes right back into it, but he does it like, because you need to count in, because it's kind of a random interval when it comes back in, but it's a really cool way to get around that live. Then we go into the Beast of the Harlot, and this song especially, you can see how less whiny M. Shadow's vocals is, because the studio version, it's almost impossible for me to listen to, because he sounds so fucking whiny in the chorus. She's a dwelling place with you. But in this one, he's actually hitting the notes without it sounding whiny, and the crowd's really into it. You could hear, like, right as the song starts, the crowd goes fucking nuts. And I mean, they should, because it's a homecoming song, so they have to be excited. And I fucking love the bridge part with the for all I see, and it goes into that really cool part. Then we go into Scream. They finally get the dancers out in this song in the live, like the album. Like early 2000s bands, like heavy metal bands, they always have the dancers on stage. That's just that's how it was. Right. And they used restraint to waiting until this song to bring them out on stage. So I thought that was really good. I love Zachy and Sinister's backing vocals on the song. The guitar work after the second chorus is really, really tight. Then we get to Seize the Day, and I'm really glad that they waited till the middle of the set to slow it down a bit, because they kept it blistering basically all the way through. They kept the energy up. M Shadows didn't waste time with a lot of banter. There's some banter, there's some talking to the crowd, but it's not Dee Snider diatribes. Zachy breaks out the acoustic guitar for this song. They have Johnny Christ sing the intro, which is interesting.
Is he the bass player?
Yeah, he's the bass player. Which is interesting because he doesn't do any background vocals at all. He doesn't have his own mic. It's the two guitarists and the drummer that do the background vocals. And he just kind of plays bass. And he literally just does like the first sentence and then walks away. And then it's M Shadows for the rest of the song. Which is interesting because it's like, yeah, we're going to have Johnny Christ sing the song. And like he sings the first part of it and that's it. I was never a big fan of this song. This was always my least favorite Avenged Sevenfold song because it just seems so like plodding. I do like where M Shadow's voice gets higher because he sounds kind of monotone when it's like doing a scene. Seize the Day. But then once like the second chorus hits, he amps up an octave and it sounds much better. It sounds more dynamic. And I like the pickup a little bit during the solo. They switch up the drumming pattern. I think that really works. And then we get the break song for M Shadows, where they bring an audience member on stage to sing Pantera's Walk. And Phil Anselmo, this guy is not.
No.
He doesn't do too bad of a job for a random guy in the audience. He has the energy for sure. He doesn't quite know when to come in because he does like the respect like right at the intro, which that's not really how it goes. But
is that why they cut it short?
Yeah. It's just like
no.
a little.
Okay.
Like,
I think it's just a little something they do in the show.
Yeah,
okay.
It was just like to give M Shadows a little break, and they're like, "Yeah, man, that's great." The funny thing was in the video portion, the guy tried to jump on stage, but he missed, so he had to jump on again. So that was pretty funny.
Do over.
But the guy was definitely not Phil Anselmo, though he did take off his shirt, so that was really good, character acting.
One for the ladies.
Yeah.
But then, thankfully, we pick it back up with Backcountry, a really great song from City of Evil. A very heavy return song. At one point in the live video, Sinister Gates dodges a bra thrown at him in like such a like fluid way, like it's part of his stage move. It goes right past his head. I thought that was really funny. I love the guitar parts, and it's so really good. They're really in sync during like the like it's so fucking cool. Then we go into Almost Easy. The background vocals are really prominent in this song. Another great song off with the self-titled album. Then we go into Gunslinger, dedicated to the troops. It starts off with a little southern flair and twang, almost like a western type thing. You're walking into the OK Corral, and but then it kicks in, and it's a good kick in, but you can still feel where the song's coming from. This one's not too bad, short and sweet. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Then we go into Unholy Confessions. This is another song from their earlier in their career. This was basically the first song that really got them off the ground and got them noticed. They got the circle pick going there in the song. They were really the crowd loved it. I love the breakdown part that has a variation of the main riff in it, but it's got that stomping Pantera feel to it. That's really cool. Now, normally they usually end their shows with this, and I think it's a really good ender. And they ended the main set with this basically, and nowadays they end their main set with this song. But they decided to end it with A Little Piece of Heaven. So I was alluding to that. I think that they could have ended with Unholy Confessions. It would have been a bender ender, because A Little Piece of Heaven is the weirdest fucking song that Avenged Sevenfold's ever done. It's very much like a Tim Burton, Danny Elfman song. I love it, but it is nowhere near what Avenged Sevenfold is.
No,
It almost didn't make the album. They were doing it for fun. They were having a good, and you could tell the live album, like the live video, that they're having a good time with it. Zachy puts on a red blazer during the song, but it's a really fucking weird song, and it's a long song too. So it's a very strange way to end the live set, but I look at it as almost like a bonus track for the live audience that saw the show. And Unholy Confessions is the true ending of the album. I like the song. I don't mind it being in the set, and they clearly love to play it. So I feel like that's kind of infectious, but it's definitely not a song that I would have closed the set with, because I feel like it would alienate a lot of people that didn't know this song existed, because it's so different from... It sounds like a Panic at the Disco meets Broadway song, and it's very much not in the typical sound of Avenged Sevenfold. But honestly, this album, I had completely forgotten about this album until it reappeared on Apple Music as a remaster, and I was like, you know what? I remember buying this album, and I have it right in front of me, the physical DVD, and I'm gonna check it out, see how it is. And I think it's a fantastic song. It's produced really well. Everybody's mixed very well, and the crowd is super into it. And it's a really good song selection too. This was before like Nightmare came out, so there were some songs from that would have been cool to hear. But I think this is a really solid collection of songs that from their first 4 albums, but they didn't play anything from Sounding of the Seventh Trumpet, their first album, because they kind of pretend that doesn't exist. Because it was basically like a hardcore album that sounds nothing like what they sound now. So basically they consider Waking the Fallen their first actual album, and then City of Evil, Avenged Sevenfold, and then this album. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think. No, I'm going to take a drink because I was talking about it. Dad, what do you think? Actually, you went first.
I will. Yeah, I'll let someone else go first.
Yeah, BB, go ahead. What do you think?
All right. I think it was your birthday. Was it your birthday episode? We did the one with the Avenged Sevenfold with like the bat. There was like
so I think
that was the Have You Ever Heard Of?
Yeah, I think I did a greatest hits of Avenged Sevenfold, and I did a lot of songs from that.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why, it plugged in my head. But this is a band I have to get more into because they teeter on that Cookie Monster, but they're not Cookie Monster. But like the music and the double bass sound is so interesting.
Yeah.
But the vocals are amazing. Like, and no, forgive me, but I have no clue what the guy's name is. But
M Shadows.
M Shadow's vocals are really, really good on this album. And it's just one of those things, like, there's so many, and, like, do I really want to get into another new band, or blah, 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 blah. But, I'll go into it. Critical Acclaim, a fantastic song. I love the organ intro. It's something you're really not into. But then right after that, it just kicks in. Gets the crowd involved. Love the song because you know exactly what you're going to get on this live album. Second song, Heartbeat. Love the outro solo in this song.
Yeah.
Really, really good song. The outro solo really caught my ear. Fantastic. Afterlife. This is like, I think I talked about this before in another podcast. Afterlife is my favorite Avenged Sevenfold song ever. I love the violin start. I don't care. I love it. I love all the time changes. I love the vocals. It's so catchy to your ear. It's a fantastic song. Scream, another great song that I love his vocal range in it. More time changes, and like now you're getting to know what Avenged Sevenfold is. You got like a little bit of heaviness. You got a lot of time changes in songs, and his vocals are spot on. Seize the Day, and I think this is a great ballad. It's somewhat, for me, it's a nice change of pace for the album since I'm not really into these guys. So it shows like a little bit of a softer side. But then when they do Walk, I really, really thought this was a great crowd pleaser in a way to get them back into it, because we just did a little ballad. Maybe had to take a little pee break. But now that you do this Walk, the Pantera song, fantastic way to get the crowd back into it. Then they do Backcountry, another one of my favorite songs. Fast right out of the gate. More time changes. And I definitely love the chorus vocals on this song. It's fantastic. Then we go to Gunslinger. About the troops. Got to give props to the troops. And then the last one I have is A Little Piece of Heaven. I was surprised that they don't do a song. It's almost like you did, like you said. It's like not the great closer. Like I thought it would be like the closing song would be one of those mosh pit crazy songs that everybody's gonna go fucking nuts. It just wrecked the place apart, and it was kind of on the lower end of that.
And normally Unholy Confessions does end it, so like that is the mosh pit song that gets the crowd going. So
right,
yeah, they usually do it, but I don't know why they ended with A Little Piece of Heaven in the show.
But it's definitely, every time you bring these guys up and I listen to them, like, man, I really like these guys, and I just never get into them. So I got to get into these guys.
Yeah, they're great.
BC,
what do you think?
I'm like BB. I always keep saying I'm gonna get these guys, and then because if you're at a show and they're playing it between bands on the PA system, you're like, yeah, your head starts going automatically.
Yeah.
And I like these guys to a point, and I think you said he's better live
Yeah.
than albums because and then I start listening to albums and the vocals lose me.
Yeah.
But not on the live. He sounds like he's so much better live. I'm just gonna put all my comments of every song into one big bowl. I love the good grooves and the double bass and the drums and the solos and most of these songs are great. And I guess the time changes. I love Walk. That was like you said. That's great to throw in there. Some of my favorites are Scream, Backcountry, Beast and
Harlot.
Double bass. Anyways, getting down to the very last song, and I have written very show-like.
Yeah.
It seems like
It's just very.
I see dancers and I don't like
A Broadway tune.
Little guys in top hats.
I think Dylan said Broadway. And
Well, jazz hands.
like, you're listening to a while, and then that's how I'm like, this is very like show-like compared to everything else. But I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
But I guess, like I said, I want to get into them, and then I start listening to their albums, and I drift away for some reason. But I like it. Anything live is great.
So the thing that
better than their
the way that I rationalize them ending with A Little Piece of Heaven is almost like how Alice Cooper, it has like the dark show throughout, and then they end with School's Out, they end with the fun song. So I was thinking maybe they were thinking that way, because that song was on their most recent album. So maybe they wanted to end with a song from, I would have probably put in Dear God, maybe. I mean, I know you hated that song when we talked about it.
Did we?
That was another ballad, but actually, no, I probably wouldn't end the show with that, but I would have put that in there instead of Seize the Day. I don't mind Seize the Day, but it's...
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think, Dad?
They're a weird band for me. When you guys picked I think you picked yours first.
I did,
Dylan.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Come on, man.
but then like when I listen to it, I'm like why don't I listen to these guys more? And I think I'm of the school of BC that like they're a band, like listen to this, I'm like, there's some cranking shit on here. There really is. But then I'm like, they lose me on the studio albums a lot. Like I think they're quick for me to have everything sound the same after too short of a period of time, I think.
Yeah.
But short doses like this, and like the intro, and I actually wrote, why do they waste time with these bullshit intros? But if you watch the video, you could see it. I think for the CD version, they should have just chopped it off.
Yeah, they should have just went with critical.
Because
Like
like
they count down, don't they? Like count down. There's just like something on it,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
screen or something.
They
But
show a thing
when
on the
they
screen.
get to it, it has the keyboard thing has a very Mr. Crowley feel to it.
Yeah.
And then you get the little dual guitars going, and then it kicks in, and bam, a good headbanger. I like it. It's good. I enjoyed it. It's a good start to the thing. I love the dual guitars are so melodic. These two guys are great together.
Yeah.
It's just so weird that one dude's lefty. It's just so weird to see. I just had to throw that out there. Sorry for all the left-handed guitar players out there.
But it works symmetrically on stage.
It does. It does. It absolutely
really
does.
cool.
That is true. Second Heartbeat, the double bass and the drums in that second song are like, holy shit. Great rocking song. I like the groove and the melodic guitars are fantastic in that. Afterlife, once again, the dual guitars, I think they steal the show for me on this album. It's got a good groove. I like them. I love the melodic chorus on this song. It totally turns the song around. You have that heaviness, but then you have the super, super melodic chorus.
Yeah.
And then it goes right back. Love it. The Beast and the Harlot. This song absolutely fucking rocks. This is my main song on this album. The ripping leads are in it. The time changes are freaking kick ass in it. Scream. Decent mid-tempo song, good kind of stomping thing. The chorus, and then they fuck around. There's like a little D. Snyder-ish, little minute and almost a minute and a half.
But it's the whole
bullshit
band
in
talking with
between.
each other.
Yeah. It's not as, believe me, it doesn't get anywhere near D. Snyder status for sure. Seize the Day, mellow song. It's okay. And that's another one. There's like 2 minutes between when they fuck around when they get into the walk thing.
Yeah.
Mateo is the guy's name.
Mateo, yeah, that's right.
That comes up on stage. Hey, he may not be Philip Anselmo, but I got to tell you, I give credit to anybody that's got the balls to get up on stage with like a main headlining act
He had the swagger.
sing. Here, sing this song.
Yeah.
And
I love that they were like,
you know what I mean?
somebody that fucking knows the song, please.
Right, because it's probably something they do in every show, and they probably get people up there, and they're probably like,
well, they mentioned
no
that
clue.
like I can't. It was like Arizona did good, and then San Francisco did much better, and
right. So I'm sure they get someone they just want to get up there so bad, and then they're just like totally blank out.
And it's something.
So at least this guy knew.
It didn't overstay its welcome either.
And it's cool too because they didn't do the whole song. They didn't drag the whole song out. They just did like the
first verse and chorus.
Yeah. So I thought it was well done. And I mean, and the best part I think of it was when he gets done. They're like, no, where are you going? Hang out on stage with us. I think that was the best part of it.
They had him.
He didn't go back to his seat. Like he hung out on stage with them. I thought that was the coolest part of it. Yeah, hang out with us.
Sure,
yeah.
we'll stick around.
Yeah, with Alice Cooper. Yeah, so I thought that was like the coolest part of it. Bad Country, ripping song. Love it. Another favorite there. Almost Easy. I mean, like these guys are like throwing songs at you, and I think it works better for me because like I'm not even a casual fan of these guys. I'm an occasional fan of these guys.
Yeah.
Like they're someone I think I own Nightmare. I think it's the only album I own from these guys because the CD that I'm looking at right now, that's Dylan's.
Yeah.
So I think Nightmare is the only CD that
I own Hail to the King, or Carson might have it.
Hail to the King. That's the one.
Yeah.
Well, then I think I own two then.
Yeah. And I have a couple.
And I couldn't name like 3 songs off either CD. But like when I get them in small doses like this, I like it. But they don't hold my attention for a long time for some reason. I don't know what it is. Unholy Confessions, good ripping song at the end. And the end is really weird because it's kind of, remember like at the end of Rush, Exit Stage Left, there's that little, they're closing the door and they're talking shit. Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, because they're in like a hot tub.
Yeah.
They like the video version. They show a video of them in the hot tub, like backstage hanging out, and like they're talking with each other and like, okay, let's go. And then they get up and they come back on stage.
Yeah, so it's a little piece of heaven. It is a long song. I'm like,
it's a very long song.
Like
it is.
Number one, not a great ender. It would have been in the middle of the set. Would have been okay. And because at the end, like you said, BC, you're expecting like mosh pit time.
Yeah.
But like, especially for someone like us that is not like a diehard fan of these guys, like you don't know what to expect from these guys. So maybe that's the way that they are with their fans. They like to give them something unexpected like that. I don't know. I just it was the ending. It was okay, but way too long for that song. But I think it was cool. Like I said, I like these guys in small doses. There's a couple songs there. I would throw like Afterlife, The Beast and the Harlot, Bad Country, and Almost Easy. I would throw them on a playlist anytime. Yeah. And I think that that's how I will continue to enjoy my Avenged Sevenfold in small doses. But
we were all humming the riff from Afterlife.
Yeah,
that's right. That is true.
All day I've been doing that. And actually, because BC came up earlier, and we were sitting on the porch having a beer, and then we were just kind of alone conversation, and then I start then I would stop, and then we'd be having another rhythm, and be some so like it's one of them earworms that just gets in your head, and I bet you guys out there are going So I thought it was cool. I liked it. Good pick, though.
Yeah, this is a live album. I would probably, if somebody was like, give me a taste of Avenged Sevenfold, I would probably give them this live album. Because I think some of these versions of the songs are almost better than the studio versions because M. Shadow's singing, I think, is a lot stronger. I don't know if he just gets fueled by the live crowd or it's been like he's grown it over the years because, I mean, City of Evil was recorded back in, I think, 2005. So he's had some time to grow his voice out, and like the guitar sound's so fucking good, especially in Afterlife during that.
It's produced really well. Actually, both albums we talked about today were produced really well. They really were. The production was excellent on them.
Differently, but both very good.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could tell. I think the production on both of these albums were totally fitting for the type of music that it was. Like that's the production you want for a Twisted Sister live album, and then that's the production that you want for an Avenged Sevenfold album.
It was produced by Adam Cook and Larry Jacobson.
Right. I'm not sure who produced the.
I think it was AJ. I think AJ and Mark
Meadows
did it.
and JJ French. Yeah. Yep. So they did good. They did good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Dylan, you have a review to read for us, right?
Sure. Yeah, this somebody put a review. Former Ump is the name that they put on the Apple review. They did a review for our Rush episode that we just did with Mark Anthony K. Steve, like I stated on Facebook, they started off really strong here, but the law of diminishing returns really takes a hold at the end. I was a huge Rush fan up for the years prior. This is when they really lost me. Hold your fire, presto, roll the bones. They rap. Jack, relax, get busy with the fact. This is when... nope, I already read that. I came back from overseas and my supervisor and I connected over Rush. I told him they lost me with this period. He tried to convince me otherwise, but it didn't work. Counterparts was released and we went to see the band together. I was lukewarm at best. I mean, I could still find the songs on each album that I liked, but it wasn't the same band, not to me anymore. Tests for Echo did little to change my mind. It wasn't until Vapor Trails before I liked the entire release again. And then that was during my Texas commute of a 3.5 hour drive and a loaded CD changer until it clicked. So it was really cool to hear a listener talk about their thoughts on the material we covered. For sure.
Yeah, definitely, because that's what we love. We want you guys to interact with us and tell us a backstory that you have about any of these episodes that we're doing, and that's pretty much what we're about. We're just here to hang out, have some drinks, talk about music that we love, and we just love to hear the backstory of what you guys have to say.
Yeah.
We have backstories to everything we talk about.
Hell true. Yeah.
Many stories. It's pretty cool to hear somebody else's their commute.
Yeah.
Just that we're not the only people that do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that review. Appreciate it. We go around the table. We can wrap up. Go ahead, BB.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many great live albums out there. It's almost like just throw a dart and we'll just pick this one this time, and because this will be like a segment down the road. We'll do another live album show, but once again, it's funny how you have the Avenged Sevenfold, you have the Twisted Sister, great production. Almost 20 years apart.
Yeah.
Both closing songs don't really represent the band. The crowd's into it. A lot of talking. So pretty much, they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
In a way, if you want to think about it like that.
Both albums re-released or released almost 10 years after they were originally recorded.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing too. So like I said with mine, I don't understand the way they waited so long, but so many great live albums out there. And I'm not one for a live album. I don't know what it is. I think I'd rather the original and then actually go see them live than throw a live album on in a way. But it goes back and forth. But great too. I think there were two great albums, and like I said before, maybe I have to get in a little bit more of Avenged Sevenfold. But really, really enjoyed this album. These two albums.
Yeah, I also enjoyed these two albums. I mean, of course, I enjoyed the Avenged Sevenfold album, but it was really good revisiting that, just rediscovering it almost, because it was an album that DVD that I enjoyed the first time I heard it, but then re-listening to it once it was re-released on Apple Music and Spotify, it was really cool to hear the album kind of come rushing back to me, especially since I think a lot of these songs are better than the studio versions. Speaking of Spotify, you could find a lot of the songs that we talk about on our Spotify playlist of the week in the show notes. And I just want to say it's been really cool that we got to 150 episodes. I can't even believe it. It's almost been 3 years at this point.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, it's in summertime.
We started June of 2017.
That's wild. Where does the time go? It's really crazy that we've been broadcasting to you guys for this long, and we still have a fan base that's growing, and we got to talk to some really awesome people and make some really great friends from this podcast. So it's really amazing that we've stuck it out for this long, and here's to the next 150, I guess.
Woohoo! Our first episode was the Welcome to the Show episode. It was July 2nd, 2017.
July 2nd, okay.
That was episode 0.
Yeah.
So the first full episode was July 8th, 2017.
God, that was...
Was that the Cat Bash?
The Cat Bash.
The Cat Bash and Gene Simmons live. Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember that. Yep.
Peter still won't return my calls. What do you think, PC?
Again, fun episode live. I'm personally love live stuff. I mean, back when I was a younger kid, the only live stuff we really had back then was the Kiss live ones, Cube Trick. And then, like, when you get into the early 80s, there was some, but I was
not a whole lot then.
I was always the guy looking for bootlegs, and he wanted to get the bootlegs to hear it live. Just the whole feel, it's just a great feel. I mean, that's 150 episodes. It don't seem like it. You think you're doing one a week, 150. Where's the time go by?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like Dylan, I think Dylan, you said we met a lot of cool people doing this, which we probably would have never met if we didn't do this.
Yeah.
So it's definitely fun. It's been cool.
Yeah, I want to say happy 150th, and I want to say thanks, BC, Dylan, BB. BB was skeptical at the beginning about how this was going to go, and I was too, and it was going to be one of them things. And BC and I Dylan and I talked about it first, and talked about the BC, and we were kind of like, how's this going to go? What's going to happen with it? And it's been fun. And BC, you are 100% right. We've met so many cool people doing this.
When you first brought this idea to me, I was like, oh, okay, because I never heard of it before until we actually went to Nashville that time for the Rockin' Pod, and then I was blown away because
just the community of it.
The community of it, and I was like, wow, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, and if podcasting itself just like ended today, like I would still consider these guys lifelong friends. Sonny and Steven from Growing Up Rock, David and Chris from Digital Killed, Tom and Zeus from Shout Out Loudcast, Pete and Vinny from I Love It Loudcast, Bill, Alan, and Dennis from Ages of Rock. I mean, just a ton. Joe Polo and Jody from Podcast Rock City, Julian Gillen, Mark Anthony Kane, the guys from Kiss FAQ. Just it's amazing. Just that these people that you just met. You've only met face to face a couple times, but they're lifelong friends. God, we went on a cruise with Sonny and Steven. I mean, come on, and we've hung out with these guys in Nashville and stuff. It's freaking unbelievable. It was cool doing these live albums, and I like how BC you brought into it. You said, and I'm of the mind of BC too. Love live stuff, and you're right. Like it was like Kiss Alive, Kiss Alive 2, Cheap Trick at Budokan, and the other main one for me was Frampton Comes Alive.
Okay.
They're like 4 live albums from my early listening. And you're right too. Think about how many live. There's not a ton of live albums from the 80s. There's some,
but not
most are single disc live albums. You have the Poison one that was like a double, and that's actually pretty good too. So there's not a whole lot of double live stuff, from the 80s period. But these albums were cool. It was cool doing them. I loved Twisted Sister. I've seen them many times, and I was actually glad that I got to see them on this tour, twice actually. And then Avenged Sevenfold, I got to see them live, the tour after the tour that they did for this one. And
I'm pissed that I still haven't seen them because
we were supposed to see them with Metallica.
But then either Sinister Gates or Zachy Vengeance's wife was pregnant and going into labor, and apparently she is the sister of M. Shadow's wife. So technically, they're brothers-in-law.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So wait, your dad has seen Avenged Sevenfold and you have not?
I have not seen Avenged Sevenfold, no. Because he saw him with Carson. Because that was when I wasn't into Avenged Sevenfold as much.
Yeah.
And Carson was. That was Carson's kind of music.
So I'm glad that I got to listen to and they're diverse bands too. You don't usually talk about Avenged Sevenfold and Twisted Sister in the same sentence.
No.
You don't. Their paths do not cross.
No.
But I mean, like, very cool though. Like I said, I'm going to continue to be the occasional Avenged Sevenfold fan. But I'll delve in though. I'll throw some of these songs on a playlist. But I want to thank everybody for hanging with us for 150 episodes. For the guys that have been there from the beginning and people that are new, welcome. Guys that are been with us from the beginning, welcome back. And just looking at the countries that we have listeners from, just like absolutely blows my mind that music is totally a universal thing. Like we have listeners around the world. It just blows my mind, and we appreciate and love every single one of you guys out there. And I'm gonna say cheers, guys. Here's to 150 more. Woo-hoo! Dylan's got to do with a soda bottle. He drank his bottle of wine already. All right, love you guys.
Timmy, use a glass.
So everybody, stay safe out there. Continue your social distancing. Wash your hands, you filthy animals out there. Wear your masks. Enjoy yourself. Use this if you do have more spare time. Use this time to listen to other podcasts. Listen to, pick up an album you haven't listened to in like 10, 15 years. And I've been doing that. I've been going back through my CDs that I finally got semi-organized. And I'm like, holy shit, I haven't listened to this. I'm throwing shit in, like different stuff all the time. So that's why when we do the what are you listening to lately, it's hard to pin something down because you're listening to so much more stuff than you used to. And it's fantastic. So take care of yourselves out there. Take care of each other. We will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.